What's going on, everyone? We're here to break down today's 7-game MLB slate for Monday, August 2nd here. 7 big ones to talk about. My name's Tim Williams. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to go through each and every one of these games, talk hitting, pitching, statistics, all that good stuff to kind of help you with your contests tonight. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. And let's jump right into this one. Phillies taking on the Nationals, 9 over under here. Phillies are favorited. Suarez taking on Gray. Suarez 4.6K. He's probably only going to go 1 or 2 innings here, but decent strikeout guy, 26.6% strikeout rate here. Walk rate's fine, just under 9% here. Opponents hitting 149 off of him. Big ground ball guys, 64% ground balls here. So, he's cheap. 4.6K is pretty nice. It's going to allow you to fit in some bats here, but don't expect him to get more than 1-2 innings probably. And then on the other side with Gray, 7.6K, newly acquired from the Dodgers. He's made 2 starts already this season. He's given up 4 home runs in those 2 starts. He's a fastball, changeup, slider guy. Fastball, he throws about 50% of the time here. So that being said, I'd like to take this opportunity to maybe jump on a new pitcher, new environment, just, freshly into the majors. So I really like the Phillies here to pick on Gray. Harper, 6K, my favorite bat to spend up for, 302 ISO, 14.7% walk rate against righties here. Real Muto, a fine option to pay up for. Miller at 3.7. He's got some good samples against righties here. 189 ISO, 351 WOBA. Jankowski, especially if he's hitting in the 2-hole at 2.7K, he's got a 402 WOBA. Nice walk rate against righties as well. And Didi Gregorius, 3.6K. I'll gladly pay for that. 188 ISO against righties here. So I really do like the Phillies. And that's just kind of, me thinking like this might be a good opportunity to jump on a new pitcher, new young guy. And then on the other side with the Nationals, Soto, Bell, I think they're in the pool here, but not a priority for me. Next, we have the Orioles Yankees, 9.5 over under. The Yankees will be favorites in this one. You have Lopez taking on Heaney. We'll start with Lopez, 5.1K, 21% strikeout rate, roughly 10% walk rate here. He's just a guy who gets a ton of grounders, does a good job at times limiting the fly balls, really kind of only throws a fastball changeup about 85% of the time. Really tough matchup here against the Yankees, so I'm not going to go there. But Heaney on the other side, 8.6K. Pitching in general is not really that great, especially if Heaney's one of your better options. But I think he's going to be very popular today, so that kind of makes me hesitant on taking him in a lot of my contests, but definitely in the player pool. 28% strikeout rate here, 47% hard hit contact, 39% fly ball rate. Now he's a Yankee. He's going to be pitching in Yankee Stadium. He gives up a ton of home runs, 1.5 home runs per 9 innings pitched. So you can expect to see maybe 1, maybe 2 home runs given up here, just based on that sample, that statistic. But Orioles, I think, in play, I don't mind them as like a small stack here. Yankees bullpen's still pretty decent. So Mancini at 5.2, I think he'll go lower owned because of, people kind of were on him yesterday. He didn't really produce. So 293 ISO against lefties is hard to ignore. Hayes at 2.6 is a nice value play at 217 ISO versus lefties. Mountcastle, kind of the discount to Mancini, 3.6K, has really nice power. Severino, 3.8K, 181 ISO against lefties. He's been kind of mashing the ball this past week. So I don't mind getting to 3 of those guys. Mancini, Mountcastle, you kind of have to choose one or the other because they're only first base eligible. And then on the other side with the Yankees, I think they are going to be mega chalky and probably for good reason here. Lopez is not scary. I think the bullpen isn't all that great. So Rizzo at 4.7, Gallo 5.4, Judge, Stanton, Sanchez. It's really hard to ignore those ISO power numbers. Gallo 266, 21% walk rate versus righties. Like it's really hard to kind of get away from it. Rizzo making his debut. So there's some kind of storyline there. So really do have a lot of interest in the Yankees. Next, we have the Mets taking on the Marlins, 7 over under here. Mets favorited. McGill taking on Luzardo. McGill 9.6K. I think he goes under owned, and I have a lot of interest in him tonight. 27% strikeout rate, 45% ground ball rate here. Opponents only hitting 212 off of him. He is taking on the Marlins in Miami. Really nice spot here. The over under is set at 7. So very interested there. Luzardo 6.9K. Similar to what we were talking about with Gray, he's in a new environment. He's a young pitcher. Might be time to kind of jump on the Mets here. Mets kind of disappointed some people yesterday, so maybe they go a little bit under owned. I don't love the ballpark for the Mets, but Luzardo, 23% strikeout rate here, 9% walk rate. He's giving up a ton of home runs in his season so far, 2.6 home runs per 9 innings. That's outrageous. Really interested in right-handed bats here. Alonso, 5.5K. 386 ISO against left-handed pitching this season. Probably the top first baseman spend up on the slate. Baez at 5.4, well worth that price. 333 ISO against lefties. Drury, not a bad value punt here at 2.3. So I don't mind getting to like a mini stack here. And then on the other side, Chisholm, 3.2K. I think the price is a little bit too low. I'm not really trying to stack against McGill here, but purely just on a point per dollar price there, I think that's just a little bit too low for Chisholm. So he might make some of my lineups today. Next, we have the Mariners taking on the Rays, 8.5 over under here. Flexen taking on Waka. Flexen, 7.1K. Not a big strikeout guy, right? 15% strikeout rate here. Gets a lot of ground balls, 45% of the time. He's a better real life pitcher than in fantasy. I think he is, in play because the Rays have a lot of swing and miss in their lineup. Not that Flexen throws a lot of, gets a lot of strikeouts, but I think he's, durable in a sense where he maybe can go 6 or 7 innings. And then on the other side, Waka 8.4 is just a little bit too pricey here, right? 277 ISO, giving up 2 right-handed batters, 54% hard hit contact to righties. So really like righties here. Mariners only have kind of a few that I'm interested in. Haniger being the top one at 5.2K, 226 ISO against righties. Toro's been hitting the ball very well. Seager always in play here, but if I'm trying to get a one-off, it's going to be Haniger. Maybe Ty France, right? And then on the other side, a Rosarina price-wise is okay at 4.7. Not really trying to stack up against Flexen just because he does get a ton of grounders. He doesn't give up a lot of home runs. So probably more of just a fade in this game, but definitely some pieces I'm interested in. Next, we have the Angels and the Rangers. Angels favorites here, 7.5 over under. You have Suarez taking on Dunning. Suarez 6.3K. It says that Ohtani might be starting this game. It says it on DraftKings, I believe, but I'm going to break it down as far as just assuming that Suarez is going to pitch. 54% ground ball rate here, 20% strikeout rate here, 10% walk rate. So I don't really love that. I do like the matchup here. Rangers, got a lot weaker since the trade deadline. So Dunning 6.3K, decent strikeout rate for his price, 24% there, 55% ground ball rate. I really hope they let this kid kind of take the wheels off of him and let him pitch 90, 100 pitches. So we'll see. But I think both of them actually make the player pool for me. Not a ton of interest in the bats in this one. Both just kind of weak. A lot of injuries for the Angels. Just not a lot going on for the Rangers here. So Stassi, probably my favorite Angels bat if we can't get Ohtani in there because he might be pitching. I'm not really sure. Stassi, 3.9K, 286 ISO against righties here. He's been hitting the ball very well this season. And then Rangers, just a couple punt plays. No priority here. Heim at catcher, 2.7K. Culberson, 2.2. If you are making like a 4 or 5-man, 5-2, kind of lineup and you just happen to have, one of those guys as like your leftover, I don't think it's a bad play. I think you could do much worse. But other than that, I think this is pretty much a fade for me as far as the bats go. Next, we have the Pirates and the Brewers, 9 over under here. Brewers favorited. Wilson taking on Laurel. Wilson, new addition for the Pirates here at 6K. Not a big strikeout guy in his limited sample size, 14% strikeout rate, 9% walk rate. gives up more power to left-handed batters, 254 ISO there. And then on the other side, Laurel, 9K, one of the top spend ups, right? Nice matchup, but 23% strikeout rate, 10% walk rate, gives up more power to right-handed batters. And 174 ISO isn't even really that bad, but if you're going to take somebody, I guess it would be a righty for the Pirates. Reynolds at 4.6 kind of fits the description there, but kind of just a little bit too pricey. Castro at 3K, I think he has somewhat upside that we've seen, but really the focus is more on the other side here with the Brewers. I think Tellez is one of my favorite value bats at 3K, lefty with big power. Escobar 5.4, Narvaez 4.5, Adames, Wong. I think the list goes on. I think the Brewers are very much in play. Maybe they go a little bit lower owned with the Giants and the Yankees being more popular here. So definitely love the Brewers. The Pirates bullpen just got a lot worse. So yeah, very high on the Brewers tonight. And then last but not least, we have the Giants and the Diamondbacks, 9.5 over under here. Giants favorited. Descalfani taking on Widener. Descalfani 9.3K. That's a little bit too pricey. I feel like he's definitely in the mix, right? He's having a good season. 23% strikeout rate isn't really all that special for somebody priced up like that. 46% ground ball rate. Generally has struggled against lefties, but only kind of limiting them to a 146 ISO, which isn't that bad. Really, really nice matchup here for the Diamondbacks. Widener on the other side, 8K. I think he might get smashed in this one. 21% strikeout rate, near 10% walk rate. Gives up a ton of fly balls, 47% fly ball rate, gives up a lot of hard contact, gives up about 2 home runs per 9 innings pitched. So I love the Giants here. Wade, I think he's one of the top bats that will maybe go lower owned. However, he is day to day, so keep an eye on that. I think he left yesterday's game with some back spasms, but 361 ISO against right-handed pitching. If he's out, I might be interested in like a guy like Steve Duggar to kind of round out my stacks. Yastrzemski at 4.2 is just a clear underprice there, 283 ISO. Crawford at 4.7. I think that's still kind of an underprice. 247 ISO. He's been having some solid games. Bryant, new addition there, hit a home run the other day. Posey as well. I think the Giants are full of talent and they are in a really good spot against a pitcher who gives up a ton of fly balls and a really bad bullpen. And then on the other side, I actually really like Marte here. Hopefully he kind of goes under owned. He returned from an injury. 4K, I think, is a nice price here. He is a switch hitter, so he can kind of bat from the left side against Descalfani. So I do have interest there, but that'll do it. My name's Tim Williams. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that like button before you hit that X button. So I really appreciate you watching. Good luck tonight and have a good rest of your day.